Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. This is Joe, and I'm really glad you're here with me today. Before we begin, let me say something important. If you're listening to this podcast right now, you're already doing something good for yourself. You're giving your time to learning, to growth, and to confidence. And that matters more than you think. Now, today's episode is a little special. It exists because one of you asked for it. Someone reached out and said, please explain be, been, and being in a simple way. Not grammar rules, not textbooks, just real English. And honestly, I love that request. Because these three small words, be, been, and being, look tiny, but they cause huge confusion for English learners all over the world. Beginners panic when they hear them. Intermediate learners hesitate. Even advanced learners sometimes stop mid-sentence and think, wait, which one do I use? So today we're going to slow everything down. No grammar pressure, no complicated rules. No perfect sentences required. Just understanding. Just meaning, just real English. And by the end of this episode, I don't want you to feel perfect. I want you to feel confident. Because confidence is always more important than perfection. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been afraid to speak English? Maybe you understood everything when listening. But when it was your turn to speak, your mind went completely blank. You knew the words, you knew the idea, but suddenly your brain froze. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. I've seen this again and again with learners. And very often, the fear comes from small words, especially be, been, and being. Not because they're hard, but because learners are scared of using the wrong one. So let me stop you right here and say this clearly. You are not bad at English. You are not stupid. You are not failing. You are learning. And learning takes time. Now let's begin. Slowly and gently. Part 1. The word be. The starting point. Let's begin with the simplest word, be. Be is like a starting point. It's open, it's flexible, it's not locked to time. In real life, we use be when we talk about dreams, wishes, advice, instructions, mindset. For example, I want to be confident in English. Notice something important here. I'm not saying I am confident. I'm not saying I was confident. I'm talking about a goal, a direction, a hope. That's where be lives. You also hear be an advice all the time. Be careful, be kind, be patient, be honest, be yourself. These sentences are not grammar sentences. They are life sentences. They tell someone how to act, not when something happens. Think about this sentence. I want to be happy. That sentence is simple, natural, and powerful. No grammar stress, just meaning. Now pause for a moment and say this quietly or out loud. I want to be blank. Maybe. I want to be fluent. I want to be confident. I want to be successful. I want to be better at speaking. That's be. Part 2. The word been. Experience and time now. Let's move gently to the word that scares people the most. Been. Take a breath. Relax. Been is not your enemy. Been is connected to experience, not just the past, but the past that still matters now. For example, I have been tired today. This sentence tells us something important. You felt tired earlier, and that experience still affects you. Another very common example. I have been to New York. You are not in New York now. You're not talking about the future. You're talking about experience. Something that happened before and now it's part of your life story. That's the feeling of been. You'll often hear it in sentences like, I've been busy this week. I've been learning English for 2 years. I've been nervous about speaking. I've been stressed lately. Notice something important here. Been never likes to be alone. It always comes with help. Have been, has been. You don't say, I am been tired. You say, I have been tired. Think of been as a very social word. It needs company. And emotionally, been often answers a silent question. Why? I've been busy. I've been practicing. I've been worried. These sentences explain your situation. Part 3. The word being. What's happening now? Now let's talk about the most human word of all. Being. Being talks about now, about behavior, about something temporary. For example, I'm being honest with you. That means right now, in this moment. Or just the child is being very quiet today. Not always, not forever, just today. This is a very important difference. Compare these two sentences. He is quiet. He is being quiet. The first sounds like personality. The second sounds like today. And that's why being is so emotional. It notices change. We use being a lot in relationships. You're being very kind. You're being too hard on yourself. You're being quiet today. Being talks about behavior, not identity. It leaves space for change. Part 4, one journey, 3 words. Now let's connect everything with one simple life story. Imagine an English learner. They say, I want to be fluent. That's a goal. Then they say, I have been practicing every night. That's effort over time. And finally, I'm being more confident when I speak now. That's change happening today. Same person, same life. 3 different meanings. And suddenly, these words are not scary anymore. They're useful. Part 5. Mistakes are not the enemy. Now let's talk about mistakes. Honestly, many learners freeze because they think, what if I say it wrong? Let me tell you something very important. Making mistakes is not the problem. Silence is. If you say, I am been tired, that's not terrible. It shows you're thinking. We gently fix it. I have been tired. If you say, I being happy today, we gently correct. I am being positive today. Learning happens there in the correction, not in silence. Even native speakers pause, repeat, correct themselves, and the world does not end. Part 6. Real confidence. Confidence doesn't come from knowing every rule. It comes from speaking, even when you're unsure. So try this sentence with me. I have been practicing English, and I am getting better. Say it again if you need to. English is not a test, it's a tool. And tools are meant to be used. Final message. If you remember only one thing from this episode, remember this. Be helps you talk about who you want to become. Been helps you share your journey. Being helps you describe what's happening now. You don't need to rush. You don't need to be perfect. Just keep speaking. Keep listening. Keep going. You're doing better than you think. Thanks for spending this time with me. This is Joe, and I'll talk to you again very soon.